No, today's video is not about math, but it is about time. Okay, maybe time kind of falls in with math, but you know what I mean. So we live in a society that praises busyness. The more you do, the more people are impressed. My gosh, you do that and you do that and you do that. How on earth do you do it? You're amazing, right? We get props from people for doing so much. And what do we model for our kids when we fill our schedules so full that there's no white space, there's no margin, there's no breathing room? We teach our kids that it's okay to run yourself ragged. This is not a lesson we want to be teaching our kids. And yet it's a lesson that so many parents inadvertently teach when they homeschool because they fill their schedule with so much curriculum and then they fill it with so many activities, a lot of times because they feel so guilty for taking their kids out of school where they had all these opportunities. So they feel like they have to make up for it by adding in all of this extra stuff. And then they find things that are really good things like, family trips or volunteering together, doing ministry together, doing scouts, doing all good things. And I'm not saying that we're putting our kids into positions of having to do things that aren't good or aren't wise, but we end up chock filling our schedules so full that we're teaching our kids that workaholism and having no downtime and not being able to breathe in your day because it is so full is not only normal and not only expected, but is somehow desirable. And that is not true. When we look at mental health in this country, one of the many contributing factors is the fact that we have forgotten how to rest. We have forgotten what downtime is. And we have become so connected and so wired into everything that we are never without input. There is sound, there is video, there is light, there is activity, there is connectivity with people. There's all this stuff going on around us. And we never get a chance to disconnect and to power down in a meaningful way that helps us to rejuvenate mentally and physically and emotionally. So, what does this have to do with homeschooling? Okay. When we homeschool, we have multiple things that we are doing as parents. And a lot of times we don't even think about some of these things. We know that we have to fit in curriculum. We know that we need to make sure that our kids are with other people and being able to socialize and to pursue the things that they enjoy. We know that they need to learn life skills. We know that they need to learn important things like volunteering and being active in your community and, whatever other values that your family has. But we are also modeling for them how we juggle schedules, what we prioritize, what we say no to that might be a good thing, but that way we can say yes to something that is even better. So when you take a look at what you did this year in your homeschool, I want you to ask yourself, what should you have subtracted before adding in? Or since you added XYZ, if you're planning on carrying that over to the next school year, what can you subtract from your schedule, from your list of things to do, so that you and your kids both have the opportunity to breathe, both have the opportunity to relax and to learn, because it's a skill. This is a life skill, learning how to be still, learning how to be quiet. And our society is never going to change unless people who have the opportunity to live a slower but still meaningful and productive life start modeling for the rest of society what that looks like. We can step off that treadmill because we as homeschoolers have that opportunity. We don't have to be in that rat race. We do not have to put our kids in school for 7 hours and then bring them home and make them do 3 hours of homework and then send them to a 2-hour practice for sports, right? We can allow our kids to do just the most important things for school, have it only take 2 or 3 hours, and then have downtime, time to rest and reflect and maybe take a nap and have a hobby and learn or have experiences, opportunities to experience new things, have the chance to actually try stuff. The reason so many kids these days go off to college having absolutely no idea what they want to do is because their schedule is so full, they never have time to just experience different opportunities, to take one day and follow somebody around in a particular industry or a particular career that they're kind of thinking about, or have an opportunity to do like an internship or even take a job because they are so crazy busy. But we as homeschoolers, we have that chance to make a much calmer, much more relaxing experience for our kids and teach them how to balance their time, how to schedule white space and margin in their calendar, how to rest, how to be alone and quiet and not go crazy with all the thoughts in your head, how to calm those thoughts in your head. These are all life skills that our kids have to learn. And if they're going to learn them, we're going to have to teach them, which means we're going to have to learn how to do that, right? So as you analyze and kind of reflect on this past school year, which is something you should always do as you come to the end, before you power into the next year, you need to take a look at where you've been, where you've come from, what you did, figure out what worked, what didn't, right? Take a look at what this past year was like for you and ask yourself, what can I subtract for next year? Maybe you see some things that you want to add in. Maybe volunteering was something that you've always wanted to do with your kids, but you haven't had the time. So make volunteering something that you prioritize adding into next year. But if you're going to add, subtract first. What can we subtract from what we did last year? What was a potentially good thing, but not as good as what this will bring us? Not as good as the volunteering, or not as good as whatever it is that your kid maybe has always wanted to do, and finally this year you'll have the opportunity for them to try that. Maybe there's something that they've always been curious about, and you've realized, hey, we have an opportunity for them to dig in and really learn more about this. That's fantastic. But don't add until you subtract. That math in your schedule is so important. And you need to remember that by showing your kids, outlining for them, hey, here's what we did last year, we're going to subtract this and this and this. And I know they were fun things, but if we want to add these things that are going to be even better, it's really important for us to not be exhausted, to still be able to get plenty of sleep, to still be able to have quiet time and downtime and not feel rushed. And so we're going to subtract these other things in order to add these in. Hope that was helpful for you. Remember that if you would like to get more encouragement in your inbox, go to goodschooling.net, scroll to the bottom and put your email address in. I would be happy to help you along your homeschool journey. Have a great day, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.